Like they start tattooing year one, year two, they're like, I want to draw my own stuff and have people get it. But I think there's a process to it, right? Like first, you just got to get comfortable with. I'm assuming this is my story. You got to get comfortable tattooing first,
Yeah,
and then you like this stuff just doesn't like happen one day. It's not like you put this on the internet and it was sold an hour later. This was
yeah,
seeded years before. Is that what you're saying?
kinda. Like, yeah, I mean, a lot of those ideas, like, I played around with them before, or like maybe, like I said, it's like all practice. So if you draw something that's kind of like it, and then like you show someone some flash that's like 5 to 10 years old, and then you're like, let me just kind of redo it for you from there. So you already have like a base of like, say something kind of weird. So they're into like something wonky, and then you can kind of redraw it from there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but you
like
start with a base, and then you're like, yeah, but let's make it fit the spot, and let's get a little freaky with it. Is that what you're kind of doing?
we know like the old punk rock like poster kind of thing where they would cut a bunch of shit up and then put it on a Xerox, and then you distort it with the Xerox by like enlarging it or shrinking it, and it becomes all pixelated and shitty looking. It's like doing that. The more times you copy that copy of the copy of the copy, then you start getting weirder copies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the old zines, I probably won't pull one up right away, but I know exactly what you're talking about because the old zines were all black and white, and you'd have to, either use someone's office equipment or get a. In the old days, you'd have to get a pocket full of dimes and go to the
Go to
library.
Kinko's. Yeah, go to the library.
Yeah, yeah, and you'd have to do that. And so, what do you mean by that when you say a copy of a copy of a copy? How does that apply into the tattooing?
Well, because in tattooing, like a lot, I mean, in traditional tattooing, like a lot of the old designs from like, turn of the century, all the old sailor stuff, like then like, later in the 60s, 70s, that era of tattooing kind of redid that stuff. Then in the 80s and 90s, then that era of tattooing kind of redid the older, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah,
then
sure.
you have the copy of a copy of a copy effect. So flash forward to now, if you're like sitting there drawing, tattoo brand stuff over and over again, or tattooing that shit, then eventually you're gonna distort it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, eventually, I think
Like if
that
you keep if you keep doing the same thing over and over again for a long time, it's gonna get different, no matter what.
it's almost like you get so comfortable drawing it that you don't even need to like. You just know where everything's going to be at. Like at this point, like I don't know how you are, but if I start drawing a dragon, I just need to know where the eyeball is, where the nose is, and where the tooth is, and I can lay everything out. And then
Yeah, you
somehow
draw
my
a pretty
dragon's no longer.
decent dragon like that. You know what I mean? You
Say
got to
say it
take it
again.
down and refine it, but yeah.
Say what you just said again. I was talking over you.
Oh, I said you can draw like a pretty decent dragon just one shot in it. Where if you had like draw your eyes and then kind of build it off of that, but you got to take it down and refine it. You know what I mean?